The haunting campsite, a desperate rescue. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm golden glow across the dense forest as a group of friends set up camp in the heart of the wilderness. They had eagerly embarked on this camping trip to escape the bustle of city life and reconnect with nature. Little did they know that their adventure would soon take a chilling turn. Under the canopy of towering pines, they pitched their tents, built a crackling campfire, and shared laughter over stories and marshmallows. The first night was tranquil, with only the soothing sounds of the forest to serenade them to sleep. The next morning, their spirits high, they decided to explore the rugged trails that crisscrossed the wilderness. Armed with backpacks and cameras, they hiked deep into the woods, each step leading them further away from their campsite. The hours passed in blissful exploration, with no signs of civilization in sight. But as they retraced their steps back to camp, the first inkling of unease crept over them. The familiar landmarks they had passed earlier had vanished, replaced by an eerie and unfamiliar landscape. Panic set in as they realized they were disoriented and lost. Desperate to find their campsite, they stumbled upon it just as the sun began its descent once more. But something was terribly wrong. Their tents had been moved to a different spot, and their belongings were scattered about as if by unseen hands. Nervously, they gathered around the campfire, trying to rationalize the inexplicable events. As the night deepened, they heard faint echoes, a cacophony of distant gunshots and eerie, ghostly whispers that seemed to drift from the surrounding darkness. Fear gripped their hearts as they huddled together, clutching their flashlights and knives. The ghostly sounds grew louder, and it was as if an otherworldly presence was lurking just beyond the tree line. Suddenly, the forest erupted with movement. Human figures cloaked in shadows emerged from the trees. Armed with rifles and malevolent intent, they encircled the terrified campers, their faces hidden beneath masks. The group had unwittingly stumbled into the territory of a group of ruthless poachers. But these poachers were unlike any other. They were rumored to be involved in dark rituals and had a sinister reputation that sent shivers down the spines of even the most hardened locals. As the campers begged for their lives, the forest seemed to respond. Ghostly apparitions, the restless spirits of those who had met a gruesome end at the hands of the poachers, materialized among the trees. The ethereal figures emitted eerie, mournful wails that pierced the night. The two forces, human and ghostly, clashed in a terrifying showdown. Gunshots rang out, followed by bone-chilling cries of anguish. The campers seized this chaotic moment to escape, running blindly through the woods. Among the campers was Michael, who had been lagging behind due to a twisted ankle. As he limped through the tangled underbrush, he could hear the sinister whispers of the poachers drawing nearer. Fear gripped him, and he knew he had to find safety quickly. Just as the menacing figures closed in on him, a pair of friendly faces appeared through the trees. It was Sarah and Mark, who had managed to circle back in search of their missing friend. Without a word, they pulled Michael behind a dense thicket, barely daring to breathe as the poachers passed by, their torches flickering ominously. As the immediate danger receded, the three friends huddled together in the inky darkness, their hearts pounding in their chests. They knew they had to reunite with their remaining friends and escape this nightmarish ordeal. After what seemed like an eternity, they caught a faint glimmer of hope, a distant shout followed by the sound of a struggle. It was one of their friends, Scott, who had been captured by the poachers. Desperation welled up within them, and they knew they had to act swiftly. Silently, they moved through the forest, following the chilling sounds of a confrontation. There, bathed in the ethereal glow of the moonlight, they found Scott, his hands bound, surrounded by the poachers who were preparing to execute their sinister plan. Without hesitation, Sarah, Mark, and Michael sprang into action. Sarah unleashed a bone-chilling scream that pierced the night, momentarily startling the poachers. Mark hurled a rock into the underbrush, creating a diversion that drew their attention away from Scott. As the poachers turned to investigate, Michael, his adrenaline surging, sprinted forward, freeing Scott from his bonds just as the poachers raised their rifles. The group's desperate rescue mission had turned the tables, and now it was the poachers who were on the run. Gunshots rang out, but the campers, driven by sheer determination and the instinct to survive, managed to escape the clutches of the malevolent hunters. They regrouped with their remaining friends and found their way back to the old cemetery, where the vengeful spirits once again formed a protective barrier, shielding them from the poachers' pursuit. As the first rays of dawn broke through the trees, the poachers, their resolve broken and their fear of the supernatural forces undeniable, retreated into the shadows of the forest. The campers, battered and bruised but ultimately victorious, emerged from the nightmarish ordeal, forever changed by their harrowing encounter with the living and the dead. The haunting campsite would forever be etched into their memories, a chilling reminder of the horrors that lurked in the heart of the wilderness.